Look, as long as he's still scoring goals, I don't care, mate. You know, he doesn't have to train, he doesn't have to do anything. I mean, you know, I think he scored 6 goals. He scored for career on the weekend. So, look, you know, Sonny is who he is, and he's got to where he is because of the person he is. And I'm certainly not going to change any part of that, mate, because you take all these things in context. You know, sometimes we want to change people, but we don't understand that the thing that's brought them to where they are is because of the people they are. You know, so I'm not changing anything in Sonny. He's, you know, if anything, you can learn from people like that. You know, that's kind of the beauty of me being in sort of the position I am. You know, you come across different people every time you kind of go along this journey, and you learn from all of them. And you know, the way he takes on the responsibility of not just his whole nation, and he takes it very seriously, I think it's commendable. It's not beyond commendable. I think it's great where, you know, we've seen, you know, we've had evidence of players who kind of go the other way, or you know, with sort of fame and fortune, kind of lose their way a little bit, but not, you know, he's still very, very grounded, and he knows what's important to him, and that is, you know, his country, his football club, you know, his career, and you know, in terms of his physical well-being, he's well looked after here. He knows his body well, and you know, he'll continue to sort of perform at the highest level. Oh, mate, that's well. I've got no idea, and I stay out of the dressing room partly because of the music choices of the players, and you know, most clubs want to turn their grounds into a fortress. Ours is becoming a nightclub, mate, and I'm all for it. Whatever makes people happy, that's fine. I've got no idea, mate. No idea, mate. You know, is it even called a DJ these days, mate? Who knows? No. So I think you're on my boat, so we'd stay away from that subject. Oh, mate, who knows? That's not the plan. 76, somewhere on a Greek island, lying back watching football from around the world, maybe, you know, doing some punditry and becoming an expert overnight. So that's the plan, but you never know in life, mate. Well, mate, there's nothing I can do. Certainly can't run on there and help them. So it is about the players. I've always felt that match day is about the players, and what we try and, you know, I think I've said before, what we try and do on a daily basis is give them the tools to find the solutions. You know, I think I've used the analogy before. We prep them for their exam on the weekend, but we don't know what the questions are going to be. They've got to work them out themselves, you know. In an exam, you're not asking anybody for help unless you got results a different way, but, you know, you got to work it out yourself. And hopefully what we've given them is the tools to say, okay, well, we know how to handle this, just work our way. We've spoken about it, or we've worked on it. And that's the ideal, because, you know, as the game moves along, you know, the players are taking the responsibility. They don't need to look to me or the bench to see, you know, how we're going to overcome this. They hopefully we've equipped them with that during the week.
Did you go to the team meal? It looked fun, the team meal?
The reason it was fun was I wasn't there. So.
Nobody likes being reunited with their ex, especially when they're with someone that they never liked. But how hopeful are you that the Spurs fan base will take the moral higher ground, because they're so in love with you now, and not show any hostility or animosity towards Maurizio on Monday?
Jeez, that's a lot to take in, and thankfully those kind of days are well past me. I think your reference is to Maurizio, yeah. All right, so I'll try and get to that. Look, it's undoubted that he had an unbelievable impact on this football club. You know, as all of us, I guess, in our roles, that's our ultimate goal and ambition, is that, you know, whatever kind of doors we go through, that we make an impact. And he's had an undeniable impact on this football club. His time here, I mean, you know, he almost took the club to the ultimate summit of the Champions League, got close to the league. So his work is unquestioned. Everyone I speak to around here, there's still people who worked with him, can't speak highly enough of him as a person, as a manager. So I doubt there'd be anything but respect, you know, for Maurizio from anyone at this football club, supporters or people associated with it. That doesn't mean he's going to get a guard of honour on Monday night, because we want to win, and I don't think he would expect that. But his his tenure here and his impact here is undeniable, and I think will stand the test of time. That, you know, whenever people think of Maurizio and his time here as a Spurs manager, we'll only look upon it with respect and fondness.
Ange, how are you?
I'm just getting over my ex, mate, and thinking about the future. Yeah, great admiration and respect for his work.
Just finally, we saw you at the theatre this week.
Yes.
With Sir Kenneth Branagh. He's known for being a Spurs fan.
He is.
Any words ahead of what is a pretty massive game?
No, he's Sir Kenneth, big Spurs fan, and he was kind enough to invite my wife and I to the theatre the other night, and we don't get too many nights away from sort of the kids and adult time, so we enjoyed it, and always appreciate. I did sort of have to swat up on King Lear. It wasn't part of the curriculum at Parade High where I grew up, mate. So yeah, I had to do some research, but. Yeah, like I said, you always learn from life, and just the appreciation of just seeing people excel at what they do is just, I think it's inspiring. You know, you walk out of there going, I don't know how they do it, you know, and so yeah, he was good after it. You know, I caught up with him briefly, and was very kind with his time, and yeah, it was all over, you know, how we're going, and gave me some little bits of advice, which you know, I'll ignore, like he'll ignore my advice on acting, mate. So, but no, it was good. It was. Much appreciated.
Hoping for a dramatic performance on Monday with a slightly better ending.
Yeah, there was a fair bit going on in that play, mate. Yeah, and I definitely wanted a better ending than Sir Kenneth had, for sure.
Okay. And Maurizio had a very good relationship with Daniel Levy, probably the best of all his managers. They once went whitewater rafting together in Argentina.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. It's not nothing against Daniel, but I'm not going whitewater rafting, mate. Let me tell you.
2 singles off 5 disallowed goals, 1 million VAR checks. Have you been involved in a crazier game?
No, but I think it's going to become the norm. I think it's where the game's heading. I think it's, unfortunately, how we're going to have to, you know, sort of watch and participate in football from now on, because look, I've said it before, I don't like it. I don't like the standing around. I don't like the whole sort of theatre around, you know, waiting for decisions. But I know that I'm in the wilderness with that. I'm kind of on my own. That in my 26 years, I was always prepared to accept the referee's decision, good, bad or otherwise. And I've had some shockers in my career, let me tell you, and I've had some go my way as well. But I'd cop that because I just wanted the game to be played. But when we're complaining about decisions every week, this is what's going to happen. People are just going to forensically scrutinise everything to make sure that they're comfortable it's right, and even at the end of that, we're still not happy. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we're going to see a lot of standing around. And I just think it's just diminishing the authority of the referee. Yeah, you can't tell me that referees are in control of the game now. They're not. The control is outside of that. So, but that's the way the game's going. So you kind of have to accept that and you know, just try and deal with it.
You say you're in the wilderness there, so it feels like fans don't want it for sure. You're saying you don't want it. Is it other managers? Is it club execs?
I don't know, but it seems like there isn't, you know, a great call for us to go back to accepting the referee's decisions for the majority. I mean, I understand goal line technology because that's a simple one. That came in and no one's complained about it. But in searching for this, you know, like I said before, utopia of where there is no wrong decisions in a game, that doesn't exist. It'll never will. So, but that's the road everyone wants to go down. And like I said, some of it's self-inflicted because we all complain about decisions every week. That's not new. We've been complaining decisions. Like I said, I've been doing this for 26 years. You know, I've had managers, and me included, complain about decisions in the past, but we got on with it. We didn't feel the need to, you know, find some miracle cure for it. Now, like I said, I don't think that's a viable option because we seem to have opened that door, allowed technology. You know, now we want transparency. You know, I'll guarantee the next thing is we'll have referees mic'd up and explaining decisions. There's plenty of other sports you can watch referees do that. I don't think it's about football, but anyway, it's like I said. I think I'm in the wilderness for that one.
Do you think that the Premier League managers should get together through the LMA and try and teach referees how to referee a game?
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Premier League managers should just manage their football clubs. I've never, and I never will, talk to a referee about the rules of the game. I was taught that you grow up and you respect the officials. You know what managers do? I'll tell you what managers do, me included. We try and find ways to bend the rules, to get around them. Tell me what the rule is, and I guarantee you'll have a room full of managers processing how can I get around this. We're not the right people. And I get that people keep saying that. I don't agree with it. What I want is the best officials, always been upskilled to officiate the game. But I think it's so hard for a referee to officiate these days. Their authority is just constantly getting diminished. I just don't know how. Like I said, I grew up afraid of referees. They would be like policemen, you know. But nowadays, I guess we talk back to policemen as well. So maybe it's just, like I said, I'm old school, mate. So I'm of a bygone era, and I just love the purity of the game. But that's not what's going on. And I've got part of this is my problem. I've got to embrace it and find a way to work with it. But it goes against everything I want to try in my team. I want my team to play fast, attacking, high tempo, go out at football. If we get a red card and it's a penalty against us, so what? Let's cop it. Let's go again. But then we have to stand around for 2 minutes to figure out whether something was offside or not. Let the linesman make a decision. Remember, it used to be the benefit of the doubt. Do we all remember that? To the striker. We all lived with it. The game didn't collapse. But like I said, I'm like an old man shouting at the clouds, mate. And you know, I'll cop it for that. But that's who I am.
This is not the first time you've really faced much adversity this season of playing Messi. Is this you really find out what you're playing manually? This is the test, isn't it?
My first test, yeah? Losing the greatest ever player of this competition the day before the season starts, piece of cake. We lost 2 players to almost season-ending injuries. Don't worry about it. Mate, there are tests all the time. There's only, in my whole career, I've figured out there's only 2 states of being as a manager. You're either under siege or it's coming, right? That's the only thing. So I know, I'm well aware of kind of every day that nothing ever runs smooth. There's always challenges out there. What I try and do, I think I mentioned last week, is not change my state of being. You know, it is what it is, whatever the challenge is, and there's always challenges. Hopefully, you know, I try and focus on what's the most important. What's the most important thing is we're still building a football club, trying to build a team to be successful, an environment where people want to win and be ambitious. That's not going to change from week to week depending on what's happening. So, yeah, this is a different challenge and we're going to have to deal with it. Like I said, it's fairly extreme even for a guy in my experience that you lose 5 sort of players in one game. But it is what it is. But that doesn't mean that that's any easier than everything we've faced so far. And, you know, I think it's a little bit sort of being disrespectful to this group of players to say that everything's gone their way, because I reckon from the first game where, you know, we kind of, you know, we're Brentford away, we concede a VAR penalty. Our goal scorer has to come off after 10 minutes at a difficult venue that they fought their way back to get something out of it. I think there's been from day one a real resilience in the group and character, and they're going to have to show it again, but I think the evidence is that it's already there. I reckon I'm there now. Yeah, I reckon I'm in amongst it. Although I did win Manager of the Month, so they should give me 5 minutes of it. Grace, anyway.